What is up, my dudes? It's the Reddit Fairy. I'm back with some r/PettyRevenge. I haven't covered the subreddit on my channel yet, but I think you guys are really gonna like it. If you guys are new to these stories, they're a very good introduction to the world of Reddit, I think. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Spoiled college roommate gets very petty payback. I have physical disabilities that meant I needed a room by an emergency exit on the ground floor. The guy doing the room assignments was quitting and apparently didn't give a fuck. He gave me the room I needed, but for some reason put me, a junior, with 2 freshmen. One of the gals was super nice and easygoing and just a decent, laid-back person. The other, who I came to call Princess Bitchy Britches to my family and friends, well, the nickname speaks for itself. She, to this day, more than 10 years after I finished college, is the most spoiled, selfish, and just all around awful person I have ever met. She apparently peaked at 3 years old and just stayed there emotionally. She refused to share anything, tried to take as much space in our dorm room as she possibly could, and would move my stuff all the time to make room for her own things, because I should have arranged all my stuff the way she wanted. Wouldn't do a single chore and expected people to wait on her hand and foot. She was so bad, the other roommate moved out at the end of the first semester to get away from her. I unfortunately was stuck for the year and slowly started tweaking her nose in whatever ways I could that weren't outright confrontation. I was terrible at dealing with conflict back then. I overheard her complaining to her mom on the phone that I didn't have a color scheme. It's just splotches of color. Princess Bitchy Britches hated that I, as an art student, decorated my wall in an array of images in all different color palettes. So I doubled down on that and proceeded to find the most tonally different pictures I could and filled the wall floor to ceiling. I put a rainbow tie-dye blanket on my bed, wore the brightest colors I had, and just embraced using every single color I could possibly find on my side of the room. After our other roommate moved out, Princess Bitchy Britches turned the empty bed into a day bed, which meant filling it with dozens of throw pillows so I couldn't use it in any way. I kid you not, I counted over 30 pillows on that bed at one point, and every single one of them had a correct way they were arranged. I went home a lot on the weekends that year, and every time before I left, if she wasn't in the room, I would do something to throw off the arrangement just slightly. I would move them, turn them around or upside down, but only to 2 or 3 pillows. And I made sure each time it was different pillows than the ones I'd messed with last time. Finally, this last one I'm not proud of, but it felt really satisfying at the time. Our dorm had a small cafe where you could order different food on the weekends. That year, I ordered just a side of bacon, a lot as a snack. It was the perfect diner-style bacon, crunchy and very greasy. One night, I poured the bacon grease from my container into a pair of her shoes. She commented later that her shoes smell weird, and I never said a word. I'm like torn on this whole bacon grease in the shoes thing. It's like, it would smell delicious. I would just walk around all day smelling like bacon, but at the same time, it'd be like a slip and slide in my shoes all day. It wouldn't be comfortable. All right, on to the next one. Throwing things in public? This is what happens. This happened back in high school, and this is my friend's story, but I witnessed it. Let's call my friend Ryan. Ryan had always had a toxic history with this kid we will call Dick. I was sort of new to the group, and I didn't know everything that happened between them. But I could tell Dick was a total douchehammer based on the time I had spent around him. One day at lunch, me and Ryan were sitting at our lunch table. Out of nowhere, Dick runs up and throws his giant red slushy drink, like 64 ounces, fruit punch color, at Ryan, misses, and hits our other friend Jay. Jay is around 265 pounds, 6'2", big, wide dude, and was wearing a white shirt. Even though most of the drink ended up on the floor, Jay's shirt definitely got some red drink on it, and he got up and started rampaging towards Dick like a wild bull. There was a huge scuffle, and a bunch of people jumped up and held Jay back while telling him it's not worth it. The much smaller Dick backed up, but didn't quite run away. He was probably trying to act tough, or saw Jay was being held back, or maybe he knew teachers were nearby, etc. Suddenly, the vice principal walked in and was trying to figure out what was going on. Jay settled back down in his seat, pissed off. People ran up to the vice principal telling him what happened. There was a lot of commotion and murmuring through the crowd. It was a big school, big lunches with lots of people around. The vice principal listened to a handful of people, then walked out of sight momentarily. A minute later, the vice principal came back into the cafeteria, pushing a mop in one of those yellow buckets, filled with mop water. He loudly said, "Dick, come here." The whole place got kind of quiet, and there were some people chuckling as they watched. Dick stops eating his lunch and walks up there like it's some huge chore he didn't have time for, rolling his eyes, rolling his whole head as he got up. Once he is standing next to the vice principal with the mop, the vice principal says, "Clean up your mess." Dick says no. The crowd gets extra quiet. The principal tells him that he made the mess, so he has to clean it up. Again, Dick says no while laughing sort of incredulously, as if to say, "Good luck trying to make me do this in front of all these people." My friend Ryan, the original target of the red drink, stands up and quickly walks over towards them, saying, "Mr. Vice Principal, I'll clean it up for you." And he grabs the mop, pulls it sopping wet out of the mop water without wringing it out, and slaps it all over Dick's chest and rubs it up and down. Dirty brown mop water soaking his shirt and chest, running down the whole front of his body. The place exploded in laughter. Dick screamed and cursed and spun away, dripping water everywhere. Ryan laughed for a minute with everyone and proceeded to mop up red drink and mess. After a lot more cursing, Dick had to be escorted down to the office and put on some old hand-me-down looking shirt from the Lost and Found for the rest of the day, and eventually had to serve detention. Nobody else got in trouble. TLDR, douchebag throws giant red drink at my friend in front of the whole school, so my friend drenches him in front of the vice principal and everyone without getting in trouble, and the douchebag gets detention. That's a pretty good. I don't even know. Yeah, I guess that's petty. It's good. I like it. Don't be mean to my mom. So, about 10 years ago, when I was just a young fella, 10-ish, my mom was dealing with some issues with this one specific coworker of hers. We'll call her Linda. Fucking Linda. Linda literally had my mom crying at the dinner table on multiple occasions, from being downright mean to my mother in front of other coworkers and just in general. I believe most of the encounters started with passive aggressiveness and just snowballed into her doing stereotypical petty bullying stuff, like purposely dropping things in front of my mom that she asked for with a follow-up of, "Well, pick it up." I remember on one occasion, my mother said she asked for clarification on something during a meeting, and after getting said clarification in front of everyone, fucking Linda goes, "Happy now, Mom?" So yeah, Linda fucking sucked, and my mom, being a very empathetic person, took it very personally. And seeing how badly it hurt her, hurt me and my family alike. If only there was something I could do to get back at her, smiley face. Sorry for this follow-up. During the time of Linda being a bitch, I had one of the worst morning experiences of my life. Went down to give my balls a good old morning scratch, as we do, and found a pretty unusual bump right on my scrotum. Upon further investigation, 10-year-old me began to fill the house with screams of terror as I discovered my prepubescent nuts had a cute little tick chilling right next to them. As embarrassed and fearful as I was, I eventually allowed my chuckling parents to try and get it out. They failed. The head of the tick got stuck in my sack, and I had to go to the doctor to dig that bastard out. And though the doctor got the head out, I guess it was too late, because over the next couple of days, my ball sack became so unbelievably inflamed, I looked like I had gotten neutered. Like, the tick scared my nuts so bad that they retreated into my body and went into hiding. My balls disappeared like Barbie doll genitals while simultaneously managing to look like Deadpool's face. Oh my god. My sack was so disgustingly and painfully inflamed, I was massaging ointment on where my balls used to be like once every 20 minutes to keep me from crying. And it just so happened that while my nuts were going through hell, my mom had bring your kid to work day. Oh boy! While there, I had the opportunity to see some of the neat, innovative things the company was doing at the time, play different games the company set up for all the kids attending, and also meet some of my mother's coworkers. And guess who happened to be there? Fucking Linda. Now, throughout the day, I was constantly washing my hands because they were basically always on my poor, inflamed bubble sack. But when it came to meeting Linda, I made sure to give my scrotum a solid, lubed-up massage before promptly giving her one of the most solid handshakes I have yet to give a human to this day. Of course, Linda probably didn't think anything of the encounter, except maybe later noticing that her hand smelled a little bit like cortisone. However, seeing my mom get a kick out of my little devious stunt made me feel a lot better about the situation. Fuck you, Linda. TLDR, was 10 years old. Woman at my mom's work was really mean to her. Went to bring your kids to work day. During the same time, I had very inflamed ball sack I got from a tick. Right after lubing up my nuts and rubbing it with my hands, I gave the woman a nice handshake upon meeting her. I love, that's like sneaky revenge. I wonder if there's a subreddit that's sneaky revenge, like where you get revenge, but the person has no idea. I'm gonna look into this. My friend ate all of my food, so I made sure I added tomatoes. I'm on mobile, so sorry for my errors, blah blah. So, for a little bit of information, my friend came over a few days ago. She ate all of my snacks and ate all of the food that was made by me. So yesterday, I was cooking some ground beef. I was about to finish when I realized that I wanted to eat too. So I went into a panic, wondering how I could block my friend from eating the whole thing. Well, she's allergic to tomatoes. We had tomato sauce, so why not? I added the tomato sauce and finished cooking the beef. I announced that it was done, knowing that she'd walk in and try to take it all. So here she is. She grabs a huge bowl and a huge spoon. She gets ready to take all of the beef, and then she realized that I added tomato sauce. She gets so pissed at me, saying, "What? You know I'm allergic to tomatoes. Why did you add tomato sauce?" I think the food tasted a lot better knowing that I did that. I'm sorry, but is this your friend or is this your wife? Like, why would she demand that you... I don't understand why she feels so entitled. This should be on like Entitled People or something. Like, why does she feel entitled to eat everything that you cooked? Like, I don't know. People are nuts, man. Litter on the sidewalk? We will return your garbage to your store. My boyfriend and I were sitting outside of a Starbucks tonight when I noticed a man finish his iced coffee and put the plastic cup down on the sidewalk before going into the little convenience store next door. He had set the cup down so carefully, i.e., he didn't just toss it. I didn't fully understand his intentions right away. When I realized he had just littered, he was already inside the store. I told my boyfriend about this and he got pretty upset that people still litter like that, and it was plastic. We were waiting for him to come out to confront him and tell him to put it in the recycling bin that is literally 10 feet away from the spot, but soon found out he was actually working at the store. So when we packed up to leave a little while later, my boyfriend picked up the cup, walked into the store, put it on one of the shelves, and walked out. I don't know if he does this every time he has a shift, but I really hope this guy realizes how embarrassing his actions are and thinks twice before doing this again. Like, come on, it's outside of your store. Like, clearly this guy has no pride in his store whatsoever if that's where he works. He just leaves, or his planet. Seriously, fucking people, you guys are goofs. I cut my lawn in random directions because it makes my neighbor crazy. Neighbor is a retired 70-something former preacher or pastor or whatever. He's also a judgmental prick who, despite not living in a neighborhood with the homeowners association, makes weekly rounds through the neighborhood looking for any minor code violations. Things like flowers that are overhanging onto the sidewalk by an inch or two, etc. He can report to the city to get the owners fined. He mows his lawn twice per day during the summer and has a bed of green that would make Hank Hill cream himself. I take pride in my yard work, but it's 70% native plants and wildflowers with a small patch of grass in the front. I don't water the grass because pouring water on the ground seems stupid to me, but it, along with a healthy mix of other stuff, comes in pretty full, and there aren't any bare spots anyway. I mow every 5 days, less if we're in a dry spell and if it grows slower. Anyway, when I get out there, I cut all the grass, but with a focus towards leaving a path that is as baffling as possible. Sometimes I will attempt a checkerboard and then veer off into spirals. Other time, I will approach it with an even more abstract eye. The grass doesn't seem to mind, and I enjoy the challenge of thinking up new ways to traverse the lawn. Today, I saw my neighbor standing out front with his fuck-up grandson that got sent to live with him for some reason. He was complaining to him about something, throwing his hands up in the air, clearly very exasperated. Then he gestured towards my lawn and then made a little spiral gesture while contorting his face in disgust. I don't know exactly what he said, but I imagine he was lecturing him about how if he didn't get his life together, he'd end up like me, the neighbor with a weird lawn. Small victories, you know? Oh, man. There are some neighbors, like, even in my neighborhood, that you just look at their lawns. All the lawns get so different. You could tell there's some neighbors that cut each other's lawn. Like, my neighbor is an awesome dude. He cuts my lawn. And there's a neighbor across the street likes to do his a certain way. His doesn't look like anyone else's. You could tell that those are the people that you don't really want to get too into it with. Alright guys, so that's all the stories I have from r/PettyRevenge, but I've got a little bonus for you guys. I'm gonna do some r/Amazon reviews. So this first one is called, well, he ain't wrong about this one. Need some lube? This is lube. Need some lube with flavor? This is lube with flavor. Would I buy again? Depends. Do I need lube with flavor? If so, then yes. Yes, I would. The lady was not disappointed. A review for gaming headphones. Very good surround sound and sound canceling, I guess. I can hear a crack of a gunshot on the other side of the map, but I can't hear my wife screaming 3 feet from me. 10 out of 10 will buy again if the wife breaks them. So heck yeah to that. From Mr. M. I love them. I'm a short man, only 5'4". These almost make me normal height when they're on, so heck yeah to that. They took a little getting used to because I've only ever been on small wheels, and it's been a few years since even that. But they go over sidewalk cracks and small debris really smooth, and that's exactly what I wanted out of them. And they're shiny, which pleases my simple lizard brain. Fit is alright if you size up, but the lining isn't the most comfortable. I got a nasty rub burn over my right ankle and will be using sport wrap to cut down on the friction until I can replace it. Wait a minute. Replace it? Your ankle? I have so many questions. This one's called a solid buttocks. They're hips, trainer, abs, trainer 6 modes, smart fitness training, gear, home, office, ab workout equipment machine. Underpowered but works well. Hooked this up to the generator from Hurricane Irma. Original battery pack was underpowered. Flipped it on and shot me across the room. Regained consciousness the next day with the generator out of gas and a rock solid buttocks. Oh my god. These people are creative. I love this subreddit. Alright, my dudes, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you guys are new here, go ahead and smash that subscribe button to be notified when I have future videos coming out. Do you have a story that you want me to read on my channel? Head on over to Reddit, r/RedditFairy, and submit your story there. Links to these stories here will be in the description, along with the links to all my social media and my Discord. That's it for today. I will see you guys next time.